The zone wasn't capped. There's no penalty, Sassy.
Aside, and it's just you. Getting that 52 to work and getting a triple.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Splat World Series REWOUND, where we take a look at some of the matches that were viewed that happened off stream, and we get to see how these matches went down. I am Topic, joined by my lovely co-commentator, Melodic, and we have a pretty decent matchup for you today. So, Melodic, why don't you introduce us to our first team?
Yes, so our first team is going to be Ascension. They have players like Sam, Mirage, Manzana, and Kool-Aid with a pretty standardized comp. We see the Splash, 52 Gal, Pencil, rounded out by that Luna Blaster Neo. Definitely more on the aggressive side with that backline to round it out. But it's definitely a solid comp overall.
Yes, but they are definitely going to be in a really tough battle because their opponent is Oddloop, our number 8 seed. You have Natu, you have Shito, you have Karada 2 Piece, Pisu, and Ki, as well as their sub. A very, very strong team from Japan. So if you're Ascension, this will be a very, very uphill battle for you the entire time. Every fight matters, every pick matters, every moment-to-moment decision matters, because if you mess up, if you make a wrong step here, wrong step there, any one of these players will be able to punish you and just absolutely run away with the game here. And of course, as common for a Splat World Series, both teams get to strike two maps, and we get a random map for our first one. And our selected stage will be Crableg Capital. Really, really good for these backliners here, especially for Natu and for, I believe, Mirage, because they have a pen and a leader. So very interesting match or backline matchup that we're going to see here.
Indeed, we see these standardized comps coming back from both sides. It's going to be interesting to see what ledge advantages these teams will use in order to secure their footing. It's going to be a rush for mid here, as the sprinklers are very well set up into mid.
Yeah, you see a kind of standard opening here from both sides here. Same with the immediate crowd to put a lot of pressure on Natu there, and another on the Plat, getting a nice pick there. Nice 2-down immediate start from this side of Ascension. Oddloop or Kool-Aid just sitting back and making sure that no one can drop down, no one can attack that left-hand side here. You see just a very, very standard back and forth game, and so far Ascension is doing a great job. Unfortunately, they are going to get punished. 2 members down. And just the speed of Oddloop, one little interaction allowed them to get the zone and get a little bit further as well.
Indeed, we are seeing this pressure coming out from Oddloop. They are able to hold on to these high up positions before getting pushed back by Sam's Crab here on top left, seeming to get mostly free range, doing as much chip damage as possible, trying to poke at that Pencil before inevitably running out of time. Through 2 going down on both sides. It is now 56 left on the board. It is just a bloodbath on this bottom left pit, but they are able to stay up here and maintain that crab for another retake. Oddloop doing a great job of holding onto the zone.
Yeah, and look at Pisu being really far up and being able to put a lot of pressure onto Mirage, make sure that they can't sit there safely. Natu getting a really nice cancel on that crab as well, making it a lot harder for Ascension to go in. And with only 10 seconds remaining, that might be the pick that they need, and no one's going to fall. And Oddloop, a very, very dominant win there as the clock will strike 0. They did get pushed back, at least in the immediates, but what I will say, at least when they were pushing right back in, they got one pick and then they just kept on going. They kept up the pressure. I believe it was Karada two piece and I believe Pisu. They went up together. They got a nice 2-3 down, and the rest of the team just followed up really, really quickly. And that was kind of allowed them to just have a really, really nice hold.
Indeed, I do want to highlight Natu on those top greats. They were able to they didn't what Ascension didn't have was a really safe tool to move that pencil. I saw Sam trying with that crab to get them off top mid, but they were just too much. They just had too much movement, and like everyone else was trying to fight the crab, as we saw, and it was just the attention was very divided.
Yeah, and another thing I want to at least mention here on when Oddloop pushed up is that Karada pushing up with that bubble to kind of take away a lot of space and kind of limit the approach options from Ascension. I mean, we saw there when I believe it was Sam and I want to say it was Kool-Aid. They both dropped. No, sorry, it was Manzana who dropped as well. It was Sam and Manzana. They dropped into that pit, and when that happened, it happened because that bubble kind of made it almost impossible for them to get any further up forward. So they tried to go around that left-hand side. Unfortunately, they were shut down. But hey, that was game one. Now we're going to go to game number 2, Ascension's counter pick, Brinewater Springs.
Yeah, I definitely think they are trying to play more into that backline stable comp, just because this map is notorious for having that height advantage, almost like an inverse flounder if you want to think about it like that. But we do see the blob lover coming out from Oddloop. It's gonna be interesting to see how they utilize that Kraken here.
Yeah, very interesting indeed. I mean, it makes sense. Blob paints the zone really well. You have that Kraken to kind of force your way up that ramp, and you see almost immediately that Pen plus Blob does a lot to just cover the entirety of zone. But Kool-Aid, though, sitting underneath to get a nice pick onto the Blob. They're not quite able to get anything else, but you see Ascension, they're still in the zone. They're able to use that advantage that Kool-Aid gave them at least a little bit to get up Sam. Another really good crab here, but not getting a whole lot of picks. The whales coming out a little bit late, as you can see, not a whole lot. And at this point, Oddloop, they can just counter respond really quickly as they're doing.
Yes, we see the Kraken coming out, trying to displace people on these sides. Kool-Aid's getting a nice pick on Natu, meaning no Cooler, getting 2, and it's just a blaster left alive from Shaito. But, yeah.
Yeah, but Cheeto doing a great job of just staying alive, using that bubble to get a pick and kind of continue this hold that Oddloop has had. And it feels like Ascension, they've been doing a great job of getting in, but every time they do, they just go down. You see right there, they had the opportunities there. They had the crab as well from Sam, but unfortunately, those trades just didn't allow them to really put up that pressure, put up that wall that they need to kind of keep Oddloop out. And as you can see, a lot of pressure being up by Ishito there in the front line to get a nice pick there before going down themselves, forcing a jump out from Sam. Another one going to go down. Manzana, Karada doing a great job of just the continuous follow-up. 52 is going to do 52 things with a nice 2-tap. Kool-Aid's kind of forced to back away. They had to rush the zone. They want to get anywhere near it, but they're kind of in no man's land. And once again, Oddloop, a very, very good game there. And I think what really helped was that consistent pressure from Blob, that Blob plus Pen did a whole lot to just make sure that Ascension, they had basically nowhere to go, alongside with Shito and Pisu doing a great job of just doing nice follow-ups as well. So it was just a great team effort all around.
Indeed. I do love seeing off-meta picks such as Blob Lover getting their chance to shine in the higher ranks or levels of play. It just shows that if you can stick to a weapon and really master those elements needed to succeed, then you will succeed. If you want to make it happen, you can make it happen. But we will be getting into our game 3, I believe, is going to be Ascension's pick, right?
Yes,
Oh.
it will be
Yes.
Ascension's pick, but of course, Oddloop gets to ban one more stage or two more stages actually. So now, even though Oddloop has won the set, this is of course play all three. So Ascension will be looking to at least make their records look a little bit better for the standings wise, and they decided to go with a classic, I will say, Barnacle and Dime, and I like this for them somewhat because you do have Crab being a very strong pick here. You can use it either in mid on the little railing or on plat because Sam's Crabs have been very effective at just creating space, but it feels like Ascension hasn't been able to really take advantage of that. But a very different comp from what we see for Oddloop, not to going over to that heavy, and I believe that is Pisu going with the Tri-Slosher. Very interesting picks there. You know what? I'm a fan of it.
Indeed, we love seeing alternate cool option. A two-piece on this right side trying to assert pressure. We see Peace getting shut down on that ledge. Wavebreaker being popped in mid to get some stability from Natu. But it's just, we see lots of aggression here from Ascension, and they are able to keep getting those picks, but not quite able to get the zone.
I mean, yeah, you saw they had three members up, unfortunately, not quite able to get the zone. A lot of time is ticking off that they could be scoring. They do eventually get it, but after that, it's been like, what, 5-10 seconds I could have been scoring. They haven't, and by the time they actually managed to get the zone, guess what? Karada is there, putting a lot of pressure. The rest of the teams can be there as well. Shito and Pisu getting a lot of picks as well. You see them forcing away. Karada going straight into the base. Unfortunately, they are going to get shut down, but giving enough space for Natu to get in a really good spot. And of course, it is Barnacle and Dime getting this plat to be very, very big. Sam knows that with that Crab trying to make them move, they do get damage, but no picks. And you see, Shito does have that bubble at the ready, so any attempted pushes from Ascension can get shut down almost immediately.
We see Karada going in, getting the pick onto Kool-Aid. No hammer at the disposal. Gal being forced to jump out. We have less than 30 ticks on the board. There is specials being tossed left and right. An amazing wavebreaker spot from Natu before getting shut down. They have to make a mad dash to zone here, and it's going to be incredibly difficult against this strong hold. They only have a few ticks left. They aren't able to paint the zone in time. Game 3 going to Oddloop.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Ascension, I think they did have an opportunity there at the very end. You saw Kool-Aid kind of camping a jump. While yes, I do agree with camping the jump, you didn't need Kool-Aid and Manzana there to both camp that jump. It did feel a bit reductive to have that because the zone was still ticking. The zone was still like going down in favor of Oddloop. They had an opportunity to kind of to stop that count, but unfortunately, maybe a bit of hesitation, I will say, to make sure that the jumps didn't do anything, and ultimately that's what cost them the game. And kudos to Oddloop. They got a really nice lockout. They made sure that Ascension, they could use their specials to their advantage. That Crab from Sam was basically a non-factor almost the entire set, and what can I say? They played it really well.
Indeed, I do think that the ending was should have been paint focused compared to trying to get those kills, as you said, with camping the jumps. And I feel like Oddloop's comp was just better suited for that. They had the heavy, they had yeah, but they really heavy, even with the nerf to its paint. It's just such a strong backline at keeping down that area that they are set up in, and essentially just could not reach them.
Yeah, so it's very unfortunate for Ascension, but if you're Oddloop, you had to feel good about that set. But that is it for this set. Of course, there's going to be more SWS Rewound in the little playlist there as well. So make sure to check out all those videos because, hey, it's a lot more action coming up to you in a little bit.
So how I used to be.